as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Fighter jets for Ukraine.
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 Air defense 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 for Ukraine.
The air defense in particular has been very, very successful in Ukraine. Not only protecting Ukrainian people from the shameless and merciless Russian shelling and rocket attacks, but also by knocking down the Russian fighter jets coming a bit too close to the Ukrainian border. They've been very successful with that. But Ukraine needs more of them, so that all of Ukraine can be protected, so that Ukrainian people will not have to be afraid at night, too scared to fall asleep, with the possibility of never waking up again. My friends, we need to remember what was promised in the past, and we need to remember how wars are waged, because a war is being waged against us right now, at this very moment. And we are oblivious to it. We act as if the world is in peace, but it is not. There is local peace, sure, but there is also local war by entities who plan to expand more and more, by entities who will use hybrid warfare against you. Putin has weaponized every single quality of Russia that he could ever weaponize. He has weaponized the Russian language. He has weaponized the Russian culture. He has weaponized the Russian ethnicity. He is weaponizing the Russian sportsmen also. It's a very funny discussion to hear people say, oh no, the sportsmen, they have nothing to do with Russia, they're neutral. Well, the next day when they return to Russia, they shake hands with Putin and receive grants from him. It's very funny, truly. And some of these sportsmen actually wear the Z swastikas of the Russians right now. So these conversations about how Russian culture, Russian language, Russian sports is unrelated to this war is absolute nonsense, my friends. They are related because Putin has made them be related. And the only way to make them unrelated once again is to stop Putin. Arms keep peace. This is an ancient saying that holds true nowadays, my friends. A saying that people need to remember. A saying that the whole world needs to remember. Unfortunately, some countries in Europe have forgotten what's the price of simply allowing authoritarians to expand. They have forgotten the lessons learned at World War II. When Hitler annexed Austria, they allowed him. They allowed him to expand, to consolidate. And nowadays, we can hear Putin himself claim that supposedly World War II started because the Polish had provoked Hitler. No, that is the funny part. He claims he's denazifying Ukraine whilst blaming the Polish people for World War II. A people who were the victim of World War II, one of the main victims, in fact. Truly, it would be funny if it weren't so sad. If it weren't so sad that some people still believe in him. But it's worse than that, my friends. It's far worse. Because the main problem with this whole situation is not the small minority of Z-zombies who shout, Putin, Putin. They are not the problem. The problem are the ignorant masses of people who do not understand how Putin is coming for their throats. Coming to kill them, to enslave them, and to annihilate them. They do not understand this. Because the war is not happening here, not yet. Because Putin does not have a border with the United Kingdom. Well, my friends, Nazi Germany did not need to have a border with the United Kingdom to commit the Blitz, to engage in the battle for Britain. It was not necessary to have a direct border back then. Is it now? That humanity's weapons are far more developed. It is in everybody's interest to support Ukraine, to finally stop the Russian terrorist regime, to end this war once and for all. Because, my friends, we have attempted to negotiate with Putin many times, and they have betrayed every single bit of negotiations. Every single treaty, they have betrayed it. And if you want specifics, that's fine too. Look up the Budapest Memorandum. Look up the Ukraine-Russia Friendship Treaty. Look up both the Minsk agreements that we have covered a while ago. One of them betrayed just the day after it was signed. Because the Russians felt like they had a local advantage on the battlefield. That was enough. Enough for them to backpedal on every single one of their words, on every single one of their promises. If that is enough, my friends, you have to ask yourself, what is truly preventing Russia from expanding any further? What is truly preventing Russia from using those dreaded nuclear weapons we hear so much about? Almost every week these days, every single time something does not go as Putin wants, which is almost every time that anything happens, he threatens nuclear war. Finally, now, Macron has answered. He has said that it is unwise to threaten another nuclear power, like France. At long last, one of the European politicians has developed a backbone. At long last, we're starting to push back a little bit, not too much. But that's good. It's a good start. And it's even better considering where Macron stood 2 years ago. One of the main non-interventionalists. And now, finally, people are starting to see this. But my friends, to see is not enough. We need to act. We need to do what needs to be done. Because the only thing that it takes for evil to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing. That is the reality on this earth. And that is why we need to keep moving forward. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
And now, my friends, we will have a short musical break.